what the fuck is KSI doing? Why is he fighting Wayne Bridge? I had to look up who that was, by the way. And I'm a Manchester City fan. KSI was going to be fighting him, but Bridge pulled out after KSI made some mean comments about Bridge's ex and John Terry, his teammate at the time, having an entanglement. First of all, though, if you like this video and other content that I do, please hit the subscribe button, like, comment, all that good stuff. And if you don't want to do it now, I bet I'll earn your subscription by the end of the video. All right, so let's get into this. Holy shit, what is KSI doing? Bridge is 44 years old, an ex-football player, so I'll give that to KSI. I suppose he could be more athletic, and he boxed in a BBC charity event. He didn't look bad, actually. He looked better than I'm doing right now at current, and I've been training for about 7 months now. But that's kind of besides the point. We should be seeing a better level of competition for KSI. Now, before you could say Jake Paul is doing better, and I think that's still the case, but Jake Paul is also aging out of his own bracket, fighting guys like Mike Tyson in what a lot of people believe to be a sham. And while sources close to the fight have told me that that indeed was a real fight and not a sham, the point still stands. We're looking at this and we're saying, okay, the two arguably biggest names in all of YouTuber boxing, soon to probably not be the case if Slim, Gib, and Salt Papa keep doing their thing, but the guys that we think should be and were part of the original founding fathers group of the sport, should be the biggest names in this landscape, are taking these weird turns where they're fighting guys that really have no effect on their long-term career trajectory. Like, oh yeah, Jake Paul can say that he fought Mike Tyson. Wow, cool. Except Mike Tyson was an old fart when they fought. Let's be real. Mike couldn't hold the pace. He couldn't find his distance properly. He couldn't get into the pocket with Jake. And Jake gassed out in that fight. Jake was struggling to finish an old Mike Tyson. And now I see KSI fighting a guy who's a retired football player, 44 years of age, who has such thin skin that he pulls out of a fight when KSI makes probably the most introductory of rude comments that someone could make when building up a fight. Like, I'll give it to JJ. It was a good way to start promoting that fight. But now KSI does not have an opponent. He went out of his way on the air at the last Misfits event to introduce the fact that he was fighting someone. And even then, people reacted to it badly. Now he straight up doesn't have an opponent. And maybe this will be a come to Jesus moment for KSI, where he says, you know what, maybe I should set up a Gib or a Slim or a Salt Poppy fight. Maybe I should go to literally anyone out of the pool of talented fighters that I have in my promotion, because it's clear that he doesn't have trouble fighting guys within his promotion and self-promoting through Misfits. Why doesn't he go to Gib? Why doesn't he try to set up a fight? That would be gigantic in terms of YouTuber boxing, right? That would be the biggest platform we'd see the sport have in a while, I bet. And you could build a great card around that. I thought the last big card they had, which was the Qatar card, it was okay. It didn't really tickle my fancy, but hey, if you get KSI and Gib, you could build a monster card around that, and you can kind of continue building up smaller names, hopefully. Now, I don't know about getting Wade in there because this takes place reportedly at the end of March, but you have Darren Till, who just got a really good knockout over Anthony Taylor. I mean, the point is that you have this crowd of guys that you could pull from that are way better matchups than Wayne Bridge. Like, this was so out of left field that I didn't believe my eyes. When I saw the announcement on Twitter, I was like, what? Who is this? And why is he fighting KSI? In what world could this be a main event? And you know KSI is going to want to make it the main event because that's how he rolls. It has to be something. Maybe it's April 1st. I know it's only February, but did April Fools come early? Because there's no way that this is true. Again, now Bridge pulls out of the fight. I'm starting to think maybe this is a publicity stunt. That's another potential possibility, right? I mean, it makes sense. You do a turn and burn, and now everyone's talking about Bridge, who probably hasn't seen the spotlight in years. And again, maybe he's more of a celebrity over the pond. Again, I am not admittedly the biggest football fan. I just follow or I did support Manchester City, so maybe he's a big deal there, and maybe people talk about him all the time. But then also, even if that's the case, you have to think, if you're KSI, about the larger audience outside of just the UK. Like, does this fight make sense on a global scale? Fuck's sake, I mean, Logan Paul's fighting Conor McGregor. When Logan Paul, a guy who is more entrenched in the WWE world than he is in the boxing world, is getting way better and way more high-profile opponents than you, dude, you know you're doing something wrong. I'm appalled. I'm stunned. I knew I had to make a video on this because there's no way, like, I thought I slipped into an alternate reality. There has to be something else going on here. From Fournier to this and losing to Tommy Fury, you talk about like every single wrong turn and wrong direction you could take in establishing yourself, or should I say reestablishing yourself now. KSI is taking those routes. There's no way around it. I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe KSI is transitioning into the period where he just wants to knock out retired 40-year-olds worlds now. And before you tell me, oh, Jake Paul did the same thing, we're talking about Jake Paul fighting old guys in combat sports. KSI doesn't even have the decency to fight guys who fought their entire lives. He's fighting celebrities. He's fighting Joe Fournier, an investor, and Wayne Bridge, he was going to be fighting Wayne Bridge, a retired soccer player that dipped his toes in the world of boxing. And you tell me there's a comparison between Jake Paul and KSI? Get the fuck out of here. Get lost. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. If anyone tries to make that argument in the comment section, I will happily go to war. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. KSI could make, and now I don't think he can make that Jake fight. I think that Jake fight is out the window. Because there is such a thing as taking down your own stock. Like KSI has, if I'm Jake, I'm looking at this KSI guy being like, well, why would I ever fight him when I just came off of fighting Mike Tyson, which sure enough, yeah, Mike's old, it's a little bit gimmicky, but it's Mike Tyson. And KSI is fighting a retired soccer player. What are we doing? Why would I ever take the time and fight that guy? I feel like it's almost a blemish on Jake's record at this point. I know I said before that I thought maybe the KSI and Jake fight was the one to make to revitalize influencer boxing. Seeing this, I don't think so. I don't think you could say that anymore. I don't think Jake's willing to take a step back, and it's clear that KSI doesn't want high-profile and dangerous opponents to take a chance on anymore. He's content with making records and doing these silly, flabby, almost gimmicky, even for influencer boxing, gimmicky type of fights. I mean, fight Darren Till, fight anyone else than Wayne Bridge. I don't know. Maybe there's something where he wants to hold on to Gib as a name and give him someone bigger. And I know Slim and KSI are boys, so KSI is not necessarily going to fight him unless it really made sense. But you got Anthony Taylor who just lost. You could fight him. You're both coming off of a loss. Besides that, dude, KSI, you're fucking up. There's no other way to say it. You're fucking up, and I'm almost interested. The thing that interests me the most at this point is who else he's gonna pick after this. Like, does he go backwards in time? Does he go even older? What if he fought Pierce Morgan? What if, because Pierce Morgan had some charity boxing match we didn't know about in 2014 that he took place in, we now have Pierce Morgan versus KSI for the Misfits Old Fart Championship. This pissed me off so much. It's just such bad decision making on KSI's part, man. I can't believe it. Well, listen, guys, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. I've been your boy, the combat consultant, the soundboard god, Jake Cooperman. And I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully, when KSI has a better opponent. Deuces.